Hey there friends, welcome back to another Legally Armed America video. I'm of course Paul Glasgow here. Busy day today. I want to get right into this video because a lot to go over today. I have other videos that need to go out also. Hey guys, remember if you like the video, you like the content that we put out over here, please remember to subscribe to the channel, like the channel, comment down below, and share with your friends or family what we're doing over here at Legally Armed America. We would greatly appreciate that, and certainly a heartfelt thanks for all of you who have already done that. You guys have no doubt seen either the video or the claims by the person that goes by the name, let me get this right, Hadassah Feinberg, who has filed an official complaint and charges, actually, private charges, private criminal charges against Josh Shapiro, who is the current governor of Pennsylvania, regarding the assassination attempt of Donald Trump last summer in Butler, Pennsylvania. A lot of information online out there. You'll find it on Twitter, Facebook, wherever, regarding this. And a bunch of you have sent me this. And I want you to know, first of all, that I have received everything from everybody, and I appreciate it. However, I want to make sure that I'm being clear and fair here. I do my best to put out as much truth as I can. I'm no journalist. I consider myself more of an opinion editor. I look at things that are happening and try to poke holes in the lies out there, because there are so many lies, especially coming from the mainstream and state-run media, but also from so many of the politicians. And my goal is always to expose them and to get you and I to be thinking and asking the questions that most people won't ask, certainly not the state-run media. So I think it's irresponsible for me to put information out there saying that this is definitely without a doubt what's happening when I don't know that. What I do know is that this lady has filed a private criminal complaint, a charge against Josh Shapiro and Commissioner of Pennsylvania State Police, Mr. Paris, I believe is his name. Those things are true. And most of the documentation, actually all the documentation that's actually going to be in this video, has all been authenticated. So the documents themselves are true. In other words, this piece of paper that I'm showing you right here is real. Do I know if the things written on that piece of paper are true? No, I do not. But again, the documents themselves are legitimate. So I just want to make that very, very clear. We are looking at official documents here. It's the content that's of question. I was able to pull 2 pages of the affidavit out, and I know there's more because the second page is cut off at the end, so I don't know where the other pages are, but these are the 2 that I was able to come across. And there are some facts in this, and you know what, it could all be factual. Problem is, this lady doesn't provide any real proof. What she is providing, let's just call it hearsay, and a lot of it I think she's probably right about. But I don't have any supporting documentation to prove that it is in fact true. Let me point out some of the things that may have some relevance to it, and some of the things that are just kind of somebody talking, right? I mean, anyone can file charges against anybody, right? This is not a criminal charge from the DA. The DA did not file these charges. This is from a person filing charges against another person. So I want to make that very, very clear. These are not district attorney filings against Josh Shapiro and this Pennsylvania Highway Patrol person, Mr. Paris. First paragraph of the affidavit goes right into what we would call hearsay. We just don't know if there's any truth to it, where she says that a affiant federal whistleblower, talking about herself, hereby alleged that Josh Shapiro, in his personal, individual, and official capacity, facilitated, organized, and carried out his plan to assassinate President Donald Trump on July 13, 2024. Shapiro was unsuccessful in completing his mission, blah, blah, blah. She goes on to talk about it. I think it's very, very important that we understand that this is simply hearsay right here. Again, I'm not saying that Shapiro did or did not have any kind of a role, but I don't know. And quite frankly, she provides no proof. I'm not discounting 100% of what she is reporting here, because she feels strongly enough that this is true, and I have to respect that and respect the justice system to hopefully carry out whatever. But she's not providing enough information here. Second paragraph also. Shapiro conspired and colluded with Pennsylvania officials, namely State Police Commissioner Christopher Paris, to carry out the attempted assassination. Again, in the rest of the paragraph, she provides no proof. Now the third paragraph. This can be proven. We just need to see the rest of the paperwork on all the other investigations going on, if we'll ever see that. Defendant Christopher Paris made false and inconsistent statements under oath to the Senate Judiciary Committee around August 2024. He falsified statements to thwart and impede the criminal investigation and obscure the discovery of facts leading up to the attempted assassination in Butler, Pennsylvania. Defendants Josh Shapiro and Paris' actions were willful and not a security failure, as defendant Paris testified under oath to the Senate Judiciary Committee. Now, I do believe pretty much everything she stated right there. I think that is the case. I do think that, not necessarily naming those specific people like Shapiro and Paris, but clearly there were people who lied under oath, and clearly people are trying to derail the investigation and give false information. I don't know if it is these two men, Shapiro and Paris, but we know that's happening. Again, though, unless you're providing text records, email records, recorded phone conversations, video, you got to provide something. You can't just say and not putting yourself in that place. In other words, did she have a legitimate reason to know that these two conspired? Was she there? I mean, if she was in the room with them, I would have to give her a little bit more credibility. But if she wasn't with them and had no capacity to be around them during all of this, then this is no different than me making this story up. I don't care if she lives in Pennsylvania. I don't care if she worked for the state police, which allegedly she did. If she wasn't in any kind of a capacity to have known, to legitimately be able to say, I was there, I saw and I heard these things, or again, like I said, the evidence regarding text messaging or emailing, then what credibility does she have, and why do we give her that credibility? Again, not trying to discredit everything about her. I'm saying provide proof. I want to believe you. I agree that a lot of these things happened. So I want to believe what you're saying. And I think we have to be careful that we don't get caught into that when somebody is saying something that we want to agree with, we don't just agree with it and run with it, because sometimes it is erroneous information. And sometimes it can backfire on us. Sometimes it can discredit the entire investigation whenever you keep putting things out there that are a little bit at a time discredited along the way. It's by the time you get to the end of the investigation, people are like, oh, we've heard so many lies that have been made up, that have been debunked, that now we can't believe anything. We have to be really careful that we don't get sucked into something just because it's something that we want to believe. I thought the fourth paragraph was a little bit interesting, where she says that Trump was shot from the Pennsylvania State Police perimeter at the Butler, Pennsylvania rally. This was not within the perimeter assigned to the United States Secret Service. We did hear about that. Remember, Secret Service said that even though this was the most logical place that an assassin would be on that roof, and only 140, 150 yards away, that Secret Service said, oh, it wasn't our problem. We assigned that to Pennsylvania State Police. So there's some truth right here, where she's claiming that the Secret Service did not have jurisdiction over that area, that they had assigned it to the state police. All statements relating to the Secret Service's failure are false. In his sworn testimony, defendant Paris fabricated, distorted, and willfully blamed the United States Secret Service security failures and efforts to divert the criminal investigation and conceal the crimes. Both defendant Christopher Paris and Josh Shapiro are named on a RICO lawsuit at the Pennsylvania Commonwealth Court for their ongoing crimes of public corruption and fraud. Now, that's where she kind of goes into what sounds like a personal beef. To me, by combining what her original accusation is, that they were part of an assassination attempt, and then going through there and talking about probably some dirty laundry and some things that she's upset about, I think that's where it starts to discredit her story, because she starts to sound like a disgruntled employee who's just trying to heap more, let's just call it sexy information and accusations on top of what she's probably really upset about. But make no mistake, some of the things she's talking about right here about the Secret Service lying and other people lying, I think we all know that's true. We watch Ron Rowe of the Secret Service lie under oath. So we know there's a lot of lying going on. When it starts at the top, we certainly can believe that a lot of the other stuff, especially whenever you have this massive of a screw up, somebody's lying about something. I mean, we've shown that every step of the way, that lies were constantly fed to us. Now, interestingly, this paragraph on the second page of the affidavit, Let me read a little bit of it. In the days leading up to the attempted assassination, Alex Soros made credible threats to assassinate President Donald J. Trump. He has never faced any criminal investigating. Well, why would he? They've bought all the DAs that would criminally investigate him, right? They own all of them. Why would these people actually do anything against anyone in the Soros family, despite his valid threats? Defendant Josh Shapiro, a close confidant of Soros and recipient of large campaign donations, again, all true, carried out the premeditated plan to thwart President Trump being elected. Again, all of the efforts right there that she's discussing are probably true. Outside of the assassination attempt, that's the one thing I can't confirm. So it's important, again, that we understand that there's a lot of truth mixed in with supposition and allegations that she's providing no proof of. She goes on to talk about Zelensky and some other things. Again, she starts to make herself sound a little kooky through some of this, and I think it's so important that we try to sift through this and realize that we may be talking about somebody who's just disgruntled and mad about something. You can go through the media, especially since July of last year, and pick out enough falsehoods and truths and include into an affidavit that makes it sound like, hey, you were there or you were part of and privy of something that maybe other people don't know about. I mean, there is enough information out there to be able to draw some of the assumptions that she's making. Now, one thing that I found that was a little bit curious and just not really sure about this was August 22nd of 2024. Remember, she filed this complaint a month earlier than this letter right here. This is Richard Goldinger, district attorney. Again, I'm pretty sure that you're probably going to find a dotted line to Soros money to this guy also. So I don't put a whole lot of confidence in what district attorneys say, but this is a letter back regarding this particular complaint filed by her, where he states on his own letterhead, I am in receipt of your private criminal complaint, which you have filed against Governor Josh Shapiro for his alleged involvement in the attempted homicide of former President Donald J. Trump. July 13th in Butler County, Pennsylvania. Please be advised there are multiple investigations currently being conducted by various government agencies. Due to these pending investigations, I am disapproving your private criminal complaint. That's a little strange to me. I don't know about this. This letter is what makes me think there might be fire where we see the smoke. Because why would you use the excuse that there are other ongoing investigations that are just informational investigations? In other words, it's not charges filed. There are no charges filed in any of these other investigations. This is the only charge filed. What she is submitting here is the only charge that I have found anywhere that a charge is being filed related to, in any way, the Trump assassination attempt in Butler. So why would you dismiss or disapprove these charges from a private citizen in a private criminal charge just because there are other ongoing investigations? So we're dropping charges because something else is taking place? That makes me question that maybe there's more truth to what this lady is saying. Again, I'm not stating either way. She hasn't provided enough proof for me to believe her. But this right here of dismissing her charges based on simply ongoing investigations, can we not walk and chew gum at the same time? Can you not simply have your charge pending out there and wait for the investigations to be completed? Not that they really matter, but you're going to pull information from that. Do you know how these investigations are going to end? Do you follow what I'm saying? Why would you dismiss a criminal complaint, even though it's from a private citizen? Why would you dismiss that before the investigations are complete? Especially since she names some of the specific people involved in those very investigations, and we do have question marks surrounding some of the things that she mentioned. Again, she may be just disgruntled and making all of this up. I don't think that is a legitimate reason for you to dismiss her entire case before we know the outcome of the investigations. And let's be honest here. Are we ever really going to hear from those investigations? I hope because Trump is in charge now we will. But most of those people who are guilty or involved, they're probably gone by now. They've either been canned or they're leaving. Remember, 60-something thousand people with the federal government have taken that deal by the Trump administration to leave. Get out of here. I'll give you 6 months of free money, free pay. Just get out of here. You don't think some of these people who are complicit in what happened in Butler, because I do believe there's a lot covered up in Butler, you don't think they've taken this chance to take free government money and get out, knowing they would probably be fired and their pensions would all be up in the air at that point? I think that there's something going on here, but I wanted to address this because so many of you have sent this to me, and believe me, as soon as this broke that this lady had this charge out there and she went online talking about it, and see, that's the other thing. I'll post the video to her video. I'll post her video, I should say, online. When you listen to her talk, you almost believe her less when you listen to her talk. And I hate to say that because not everybody is a good speaker. She doesn't come off as stupid or anything. She comes off as a disgruntled employee. So I'll post that for you. I didn't want to play that here because I had too much to talk about right here. But I'll give you guys access to that if you haven't found it already. And I think you'll agree that she doesn't come across as a believable witness in some of her claims. And she sounds like somebody who's mad, who's bitter. But I just think this is something that I'm actually going to reach out to the DA because I'm so curious what their justification is for dismissing this whenever if the investigations had been completed and he had adequate information to say that what she's alleging is wrong or incorrect or not true, then I would think, okay, he's got grounds to do this because he's reading the same thing I'm reading and he's probably right. He doesn't know what these investigations, what the outcomes will be. So that's a big question mark for me in this.
I'm sorry, I thought this was America. It's over.